Over 11 years ago, 30 years old, I had fallen out of shape, just eating food and sitting down and junk and not working out. And hopefully you know me by now. If you don't, my name's Adam. I'm one of the hosts and founders of the Mind Pump podcast. I did a whole transformation journey from fat to fit, and then take that to the competitive stage. I'm a very competitive person at heart. If you don't know already, Sal's really upset about me getting back in shape. And I was pretty good. I was good enough to move my way up from amateur to the national level and then become a pro. And here we are 10 years later. I've, since my competitive days, have lost almost 50 pounds of lean body mass. And this just made sense. It's like, hey, I'm gonna start this transformation of building back my physique, getting back the muscle that I've lost over the last decade.
My goal is always to do as little as possible to elicit the most change.
Real easily, this exercise turns into something that it's not, or that you're not trying to accomplish. So, damn. You guys have been with me for the last 90 days, and the results are in. Rocking around the Christmas tree. Is this everybody's favorite holiday? What do you think? Yeah, Christmas. Are you guys? What's your favorite? What's your guys' favorite holiday?
It's probably between Christmas and Halloween for a lot of people. Personally, I think I like 4th of July the best.
Really? That's drinking and fireworks? Is that what you're like? I like to get drunk and blow things up. That's what that says. Yeah. That's not what I was expecting. Although I do think that 4th of July, I believe, is one of the most traveled holidays. I believe it's one of the most traveled holidays.
I feel like it's just the one I have the most fun around. Like we used to go camping and like you said, like fireworks or like Tahoe, like
Yeah.
4th of July would be awesome.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like the activity around 4th of July would absolutely.
I think what's so great about Christmas is that it goes on for like a whole month, and I think I love the snow, the cold weather, the decorations. Like there's just something about that.
I like how you can wear like a Santa hat and not be judged.
Yeah.
Any time in December.
You know, I used to do that a lot. So if you go back to early episodes, a lot of the first like 3 to 5 years during this time, I'd be wearing the Santa hat. I wore it to work. I wore it to work all the time. Yeah. I used to do that when I worked in the gym too. I always liked. I don't know. Maybe that's just because I like the holidays so much.
I think all of us should dress up as elves, and you guys dress up as like Santa, Mrs. Claus.
Well, I thought the "Twas the Night Before Christmas" video that Danny did with Sal was really good. That was on point. All right, are we good? Are we hot? Okay, so let's catch everybody up. So what has happened? Well, we've had Thanksgiving. We enjoyed ourselves on Thanksgiving. So one of the things I did, so the audience knows, is we had been since the last time I'd updated you guys on a cut. Right, I had been cutting calories pretty low, 2,000 to 2,400. And the goal was to lean out. Previously, I thought I was in a cut, remember? And I ended up building muscle, which told me that even though it wasn't a bad thing that we did, it wasn't what we were trying to do. So I had to cut the calories even more. I started increasing steps. I was almost every day I had to go to the gym for about an hour and just walk or do the elliptical in order to hit my step goals. Because I eventually went from 8,000 to 10,000 to like 12,000 to like 13 to 15,000 towards this last week before I got tested. And so that really was what led up to right up to Thanksgiving. So then I went and got the body fat test, and I really wanted to make sure that I had moved the needle before I made the decision to switch back to a bulk, right? I wanted to check, even though I wasn't due to check till right about today, I wanted to see before I headed into Thanksgiving if I leaned out like I was intending to do, because then the plan was, okay, instead of trying to cut through Thanksgiving, we've already been running a cut for almost 3 weeks now. Let's pivot back to a kind of a reverse diet or a bulk for Thanksgiving on, since I just used the momentum of the extra calories around, Thanksgiving. So that's what we did. And we went and got the body spec, and here's the results. So last time we tested, we were at 12.7% body fat. We tested at 10.8% body fat. Our fat tissue was down to 22.8 pounds. So we were at 27.6. So roughly lost almost exactly 5 pounds of fat. We did lose a little bit of lean tissue. So we lost 1.5 pounds of lean tissue and 5 pounds of fat, which is pretty normal, right? If you're in a pretty aggressive cut like that, it's almost inevitable you're going to lose a little bit of muscle. And that's the goal. The goal is when you're in a cut like that, how to mitigate the minimal amount of lean tissue as possible. But it's kind of inevitable. You're going to lose a little bit. So that was pretty good. If I was grading myself, I think all things considering, with the injuries and all the mishaps that we've had, not bad. I really secretly, I wanted to end this series at single digits and had adding back 25 pounds of muscle. I knew that was a bit ambitious, but I thought I could do it. We came close. So we're in the 10% body fat range. The total amount of lean tissue that we've built since the beginning of this was like 22 or 23 pounds. So not bad, not quite where I wanted to get, but all in all, I would say a pretty successful considering everything that we went through. And now we're going to wrap this thing up. So a big thank you to Keon, who is one of our partners that sponsored this whole series for you guys. Both them and LMNT were the two companies that were responsible to putting this series together and allowing us to pay for the team to edit this for everybody watching. Today will be my last workout that we officially document. Doesn't mean we won't come back and do something else, but this will be the end of this series. And depending on what the engagement looks like on this video and what everybody's looking for, we may create another series. Maybe another pair of our partners would like to sponsor it or do something. But all in all, hopefully it was a helpful journey. I do know that Doug has been working on the back end to comprise all the videos that I did on YouTube, all the videos and stuff that I documented on Instagram, and it's going to be all put in and packaged into our Kajabi platform so that you could access it in one place. I believe the idea is for us to give that away with our next program that we drop. So you're going to see me probably remove a lot of this content off of my private page. And then that's where it'll end up. It'll end up in Kajabi, and look forward to that. So if you're in the middle of this series, hopefully you guys get through all the content while it's up, but it'll eventually be in the Kajabi. So, and then today is going to be chest and back. We're just kind of touching things. I'm going to do probably 2 exercises for each. We're staying still in the light, high rep range right now, even though we're in the reverse diet and we're increasing calories. I would love to lift heavy. I just have told myself I'm not going to do that for a while. So I'll probably stick around in this high rep range and supersets and lightweight, just kind of chasing the pump. So let's get to work. Start off with our W's. Oh, let's get some music. We need some music today. Vicky, if you can make Justin look less fat, that would be great.
She has to draw lines.
Yeah. That's a healthy stash. I like that stash.
This is the end of it.
No, bro. Don't get rid of that.
I think I'm going back to the tiny beard, dude.
Don't do it.
Yeah, it's not your butt.
I mean, I don't know. I'm at my threshold here of stash. It's a little on the bushy side. I don't know. Maybe if I trim it a little bit, I'll be happier.
I don't know. I'm a fan of the mustache. If I was critiquing my physique through this whole thing and like everything that we've gone through, I'd say one of the biggest things I know, obviously my chest has been lagging because the lack of volume that I've been able to train it. It's coming up, but I noticed that. The other thing I noticed the other day, I was taking like updated pictures and not being able to deadlift. I see such a difference in my back. I get a much fuller, thicker, wider looking back when I'm heavy deadlifting. When I'm not, I still have an okay back. It's not bad, but these are things that I notice that my routine is missing right now. I find that interesting too because I've talked about it on the show, the people that like try and say that deadlifting is not a back exercise, and I make the case all the time that I think it's one of the single things that improved my overall back strength, size, definition, everything. In other words, don't forget the deadlift, kids. The other thing too I should give credit to is this is the first time I've ever been really consistent with EAAs before, and the fact that this entire journey of injuries, cutting calories, even increasing the activity with the walking and the elliptical stuff that I was doing, to have only lost 1 pound or 1.5 pounds of muscle over that entire course of 3 months is a pretty good success. And to be able to have taken us all the way down to 10% body fat. And where do we start off at? 15.8 or 16 something. So for us to go all the way down to 10% body fat, have built all the muscle we have, only lost 1.5 pounds of muscle total. And that's actually not, because technically we built so much muscle, we only came back 1.5 pounds total. Still over 20 pounds we've built. And so I'm sure taking those EAAs consistently when I was in a cut helped support that. Hard to say how much, would I have lost 0.5 pound more muscle? Would I have lost 2 more pounds of muscle? I don't know. But typically when I do a cut like that, I expect to lose a little bit of muscle. Try not to, but you expect to lose a little. Too, as far as the calorie cutting and heading into Thanksgiving, it's something I think is a really good strategy. At least it helped me go through things. I really enjoyed Thanksgiving. I had some drinks. I ate high calorie. I had some pie. I think I even had cake one time. Like really, I ate big on Thanksgiving Day. But to have been in a 3-week cut to where I was leaning out, low cal, and then Thanksgiving to come back, ramp out of it. A couple things I noticed that were really beneficial. One, I had adapted to so many low calories that I got filled up pretty fast. So even though I gave myself the permission to kind of eat a lot more Thanksgiving, I didn't have the desire to. Once I had that big, huge plate of turkey and stuff like that and tri-tip, I was like, man, I don't even need that much more. Sure, I had dessert later on, but I didn't feel this roaring appetite. And then it works perfect because in the next day I'm fueled up, ready to start training and lifting, and then staying on the reverse diet to go back into gain mode, right? Versus I've gone through a Thanksgiving before and be in the middle of a prep for a show, and that's just miserable. So I think it's a smart strategy to come into Thanksgiving after a nice 2, 3, 4 week cut leading into it, and then use the Thanksgiving on as a reverse diet out or a bulk. I bet you guys are excited to be done with this shit, huh? Follow me around every day. I guess that's true. Huh? It breaks it up from the podcast. Probably gets really boring to edit, I'm sure. So I never thought of it like that for you guys. It's probably a nice little break of different edits, huh? Well, maybe we'll do more. Katrina did tell me that a couple other partners that didn't get a chance to do this wanted to. So I think for me, it's a lot of a commitment. Like the last couple of days, I've already stopped posting every single meal and communicating on there. Like, it's a full-time job doing that influencer bullshit. Oh. Well, that bar tears your hands up. The teeth on that are crazy. We only went up 3 pounds from the cut going back to a bulk. So I came all the way down. When I did that, I didn't read my weight. I should have read my weight for you guys. It was 210. So I think I was 217 before. So I was, yeah, we were at 217. We were at 217. We came down to 210. And now we're at 213. So quick pound or two of that right away. That was mostly water. But if you're on a pretty aggressive cut like I was, you're also not holding as much water too. So just simply giving myself an extra 800 calories more a day right away is going to fill me up more. That'll attribute to at least a pound or two. God damn, that bar is tough. I'm excited for the audience to see. You guys haven't seen it yet either. This whole 3-month training inspired one of the next programs that's coming out. Obviously, we have the one that's dropping right now, the Performance 15. But the next one that comes after this, the Transformation one, was inspired by this journey. Very minimalist approach to building back your physique. That was fun for me. So nice having this in here now. You know, speaking about the deadlift and how powerful it is for the back, I tell a story on the podcast of when we all first met, Sal, Justin, and myself. Those two guys were way more into PR chasing, powerlifting style. I never really identified as like a strongman powerlift guy. In fact, I didn't even know what my PR on a squat or a deadlift was, and I hardly ever deadlifted at all. And then I rarely squatted. And it was them that really inspired me to start training that way. And then I got on a kick as I started to get better and better at deadlifting on could I catch Sal, because that was obviously his lift, right? Where he was pulling 600 or something pounds. And so I went on this kick of just getting good at the deadlift. So I pretty much eliminated any other bullshit movements, any accessory stuff. No lat pull down, no pull-ups, no seated row, no dumbbell rows. Literally deadlift, squat, bench press. And I just did that for I don't know, almost 8 months. Got my deadlift really, really strong. Then I came back after doing that, and I remember getting on the seated row. And I used to have a really, really strong seated row. And just a movement I did a lot, always in my routine before I was deadlifting. Now, I hadn't done it in 8 months, so you anticipate the law of specificity, right? If I don't do that movement, I'm probably going to get a little weaker in it. So I remember going over oh, I better start a little lighter than I usually do. And I grabbed the seated row, and when I pulled it, it felt so unbelievably light. I was confused, and I looked over the weight, and I'm like, that's what I would start at. So I started going up. The first time I grabbed that seated row in 8 months, and I was rowing stuff that I never rowed in my entire life. Granted, maybe I think I've been lifting weights for 15 years by this point, and I had incrementally got my seated row up to, 250, 280 pounds or whatever it was, which was really good for me over years and years and years of doing it. Didn't do it for 8 months at all. All I did was get really strong at deadlifting. Now I got my deadlift up to 550 pounds, right? So my deadlift was pretty respectable. Not anything impressive, but respectable. And that translated over into so much back strength that I could grab a seated row after not doing it for 8 months and hit a PR the first time, which was crazy. Just a testament to how powerful the deadlift is when it comes to building muscle. Have you set up the new cameras yet? Oh, they are. Oh, so the lighting should be a little bit different?
This one's better in low light, so the camera itself is better in low light, as well as this lens goes a lower aperture, which means it can like go lower light basically.
Yeah.
So
So this will be interesting. We should see somewhat of a contrast then between the ones we've done before and this one.
Yeah, to the untrained eye, it might not be super noticeable because the other cameras were really good too.
Yeah.
So I mean, either way, but to me, yeah, I'm noticing some differences right now.
Oh yeah. Oh cool. I totally forgot you guys got that. I totally forgot you guys had got that. This is it. That's a lot. This is the last workout right here. We technically went over our commitment on episodes, but a lot of that has to do with we had a higher cadence early on because the boys were dropping like 3 a week for a while there, and then we dropped to 2 a week. But this week is the 3 months of when we did the first body fat test, and I'll probably test again in a couple weeks now that I'm on the gain again, and just kind of see where I end up in the next couple weeks. I really want to get down to like single digits is where I'd like to hang out for a little while. But it's so easy to mess that up.
So is that going to be your goal after this series? Just kind of hang out in single digits, or what's going to maintain?
I mean, I always want to be around 9 to 12. 9 to 12, and you're just kind of floating around there. Because 12 is really easy. As long as I'm training and I'm somewhat paying attention to protein intake, I can stay under 12. 9 takes conscious effort. But if I hover around that like 9, 10 range, which is what I would do in like for 3 years when I was in competing, I never allowed myself to go over 9, and then I would get ready for a show from 9% down, and then I get all the way down to sub 3%. So I was always 4 to 6 weeks out from hitting a stage. And if I can stay around single digit body fat, then I'm always a month away from looking stage ready. If I really, not that I would do that, but that puts me in a place where I can turn it on and look incredible in 2 to 3 weeks, right? So, but it still gives me some flexibility. You start getting below 9, at least me genetically, like that means I'm like perfection. I'm not able to eat and enjoy. I can't miss like training. Like I have to be really consistent to maintain that. But 9 to 12, that's easy to maintain.
No urge in competing again, right? People do like 50, 60 years old, like people would compete.
Oh yeah, no, I mean there's a whole other category. I can go into masters, which would be a huge advantage for me to go compete. Once you get over 40, you can go into the masters, and then I can only compete against guys 40 and above. But I wouldn't do it. If I were to do it, I want to be with all the young guys too. I want to be able to prove I can still hang with the 25, 30-year-old bodybuilder too. So, but I don't know. who knows? Maybe when I get closer to 50, I'll have some itch like that. But at 43 right now, I've already been down that road before and know what it's like. There's too much I like doing in my personal life that it's like it's just not. And it's probably one of, at least the handful of sports I've played, it's the most selfish sport, because everything, when I'm in competition mode, everything we eat, everything we do is revolved around my training, my sleeping, my eating. So it's like so selfish. So my wife and kid and partner have to like totally convert their lifestyle around me. So when it was just Katrina and I, it was fun. And when it served as a purpose to help build this, it was fun. But I don't know. Now, like, I'm not going to go to Olympia. So like, what would it prove for me to get on stage again right now? You know?
I'm waiting for that racing simulator Twitch stream.
Yeah, I'm more excited about that. You know what I'm saying? You're more likely to get me on Twitch on racing than I would be get on a competitive stage again, you know? I mean, it gives you a little bit of the itch when you get back and, you know, posing again and feeling lean. Like, I'm not going to lie, it feels good, but not enough to want to go prance around on stage. I want a dumbbell press over here. Okay, let's do a warm-up set with some 50s, and we'll go from there. Feels light, but we're gonna stay there probably. Everybody in this one wants to keep going up weight so bad. Patience. How's that interview?
Great.
Yeah?
Great. What's up, Slim? Getting all lean?
I'm back on the bulk, guy. I'm back on game.
You cut, you bulk,
Yeah.
you leaner.
Yeah. No, I'm back
How's your
on.
injuries?
I mean, I was just doing chest right now, and the 60s are moving so light, and I want to go up, but
Wait, so you press the 60s?
Yeah, no
Oh,
problem.
you're good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, but you're good. There's not like a.
Yeah. But it there's still that, and I'm sure you remember this with your shoulder. Like, I'm good, but there's that hesitancy of, do I dare keep pushing the weight? Because that's how it happened before. It's like, oh, I thought I was good, and then I just started getting a little bit more weight, and then. So what I'm going to do right now, what I just decided was, instead of increasing weight, I'm going to superset the flies just to increase intensity without more risk, right? So for the audience, that's what I'm going to do now is like, I really want to increase the weight because I'm repping 60 pounds easily 15 times. So normally I'd go up to 70s, 80s, 90s, but instead of risking it, but yet still wanting to stretch myself, right, and challenge myself, I'm going to superset it with some flies.
Pre-exhaust?
Yeah, I'll do that second. So, yeah. So I'll hit that. Then I'll come over and get a good squeeze right here on the flies. So we've been injured, and then we started to recover to be able to train chest again. Still really easy. Then I went on a cut. So obviously I felt pretty weak. This is the first chest workout where I feel filled up, loaded, and strong. It's the first time actually since this whole injury and everything where I actually feel like I'm actually getting a chest pump again. which is an amazing feeling. I miss that. And that was probably the call. The smart call was to stay light, and we'll just increase intensity through supersets, higher reps, shorter rest periods right between the two. Feels good to actually feel some blood in the chest. I miss that. We'll do 2 more of those. See you later, Big. Feel so much better fed. This is also why I like to communicate how you naturally get weaker when you're in a cut, because it's just, I mean, maybe it's different for me because I'm a bigger, taller guy. Larger muscle bellies need a lot more calories and fuel to fill everything up. But when I have to deplete everything so I can get into a calorie deficit so that my body's burning body fat a lot, I'm just weaker in the gym. And I'm not losing muscle per se, because here we come off of a 3-week cut where my workouts were like, meh, I feel weak, I feel flat, I feel like I'm getting weaker. But then, what do we have? 5 days? It hasn't even been 5 days, has it? What's day? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It's been 5 days. 5 days of a calorie surplus, and now all of a sudden I feel amazing. And I feel like my strength is right back where it was, or even further along. So I think it's important that people make peace with that depleted, flat, feeling weaker kind of feeling when you're in that calorie deficit for an extended period of time. And I think that's what happens is a lot of people get discouraged. They don't like the way they look. They don't like the way they feel. It's challenging, and then they kind of say F it and they go back the other direction. Or they're constantly feeding themselves just enough calories, but not enough to be in a big enough deficit to actually tap into body fat. Just enough to stay satisfied, maybe not put on body fat, but also not lean out. Okay, last round. See if we look a little different with carbs and calories in us.
Yes, the rental. Oh, Martha Obama.
Well, not bad for 3 months. Old man, getting hurt. Leave the real competing to the young guys. We'll see how that shapes up compared to the other ones. Hard for me to tell when it look better. The other one, my waist will be smaller, but I'm probably more filled out. I'm probably more filled out right now than I was the last time we posed like that. So you have to show me a comparison. Well, I hope more than anything else that people got value and learned something from this whole process, right? So if you guys want to see more, comment below. Let us know what you guys want to see next. Maybe we'll get Doug jacked. What do you guys think?
Maybe.